This guy was just totally out of it. Whether it was drugs or mental health, I didn't know him, so I couldn't judge it, but he was definitely not dealing with anything on this planet at that point in time. Yeah, he was not aggressive, but very loud and belligerent to where the security had to escort him off the property. But it's not generally the homeless population is just like you and me sitting here.
Is it pretty dangerous in those camps? Or in those camps, is it people that are kind of looking out for each other, or everybody's on their own, you're just staying together?
No, some camps stays isolated, and then sometimes you'll find groups. But usually the isolated camps, as soon as somebody finds out you're camping in this area and you're getting away with it, they start moving in. They may not move right next to your tent, but 25 yards away, they'll set up. Because if you're not getting bothered, I'm not going to get bothered. As far as feeling threatened in any camp, I have not felt threatened walking into any camp at all. And I'm 64 years old. I pretty much can't, just went through open heart surgery and a hip replacement. I'm not going to defend myself very well.
But are you going in by yourself, or do you have your crew there with you?
We when we're going into new areas, we minimize our crew. So it's smaller crew, 3 to 4 people.
That's interesting. I would have thought you'd take more people.
No.
Because it's a safety thing.
No, if you bring in more people, you're overwhelming the individual, and you'll get a behavior that you not necessarily like. But if you go in with smaller amounts of people, then it's more like a greeting party than an we're coming here to harass you party.
It's a little more friendly.
Yes, it's changing. You got to change the attitudes before you can change the behaviors. That's our motto. You know, we change the attitudes that change the behaviors in our community. So if you go in with the right attitude, the behaviors are nullified.
Now, is there a lot of violence, though, in those camps?
Most of the violence I've seen in the homeless population is with themselves. It's not
So
like
a homeless person committing it against another homeless
yes,
person.
you don't see too much where the homeless person's actually jumping out of the bushes and attacking somebody and stuff. In some cases, you do. The mentally ill ones are pretty much the biggest culprit of that one. They're the ones like we had an interaction today with at Ray's Food Place. This guy was just totally out of it. Whether it was drugs or mental health, I didn't know him, so I couldn't judge it. But he was definitely not dealing with anything on this planet at that point in time. Yeah, he was not aggressive, but very loud and belligerent to where the security had to escort him off the property. But it's not generally the homeless population is just like you and me sitting here. I've spent so much time working with them. I have not found anybody that's a threat to me. I'm not special. I'm just like you are. It's just my temperament of how I go in with respect. I have no desire to move anybody or have them stay. But I do have a desire is you got to talk with me. And after the conversation, we'll go from there.
Do you think that safety aspect comes from just your time around them? Because I've walked down, I mean, even here in Old Town, and it's dark, and you see some homeless people walking around, and they're on something, and you get a little, okay, I should watch out, just be careful. I don't know if that's warranted or not. I've never had a bad interaction with a homeless person, but I've been on edge.
Walking down any alley in the dark, I don't care if it's a homeless person or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always a dangerous thing.
So do you think it's easier where you're going into their territory? You're kind of on their turf?
Yeah, I believe it is. And I believe after doing it this long, most people know who I am or have at least heard about me. I still have people, complaining about me to me. And I'm like, well, did you ever actually see him do that? Well, yeah, I seen him walk out of the stuff, and I'm sitting there going, okay.
It's me.
Me. My guys are going like this. I'm going, no, give him his space,